I've got a question for you. Is this a gargoyle or a grotesque? Find out in just a moment on Escape to the Country.
On today's show, we've got an extra special house hunt on our hands as we discover if 3 into 1 will go. And it's a delicate task to make sure everyone gets everything they want.
Are you mega jealous?
I am. But I'm going to build a similar one over the other side.
That's the fighting talk I like, yes.
And the mystery house has them all awestruck.
Absolutely wonderful.
Today we're in Gloucestershire and I'm right at the heart of the county because I'm standing on the roof of Gloucester Cathedral, which is the territory for these chaps, which are indeed gargoyles. The word comes from the French gargouille, which means throat, because that's exactly what they do. They spout water away from the building. Grotesques are a different matter, and I'll be finding out the difference when I visit the stonemason's yard here at the cathedral later in the show. But first, let's see some other beauties carved into this county's landscape.
Gloucestershire lies to the southwest of England and shares its border with a number of counties, including both Worcestershire and Herefordshire. It's home to the broad, fertile valley of the River Severn, a 220-mile-long stretch famed for its tidal bore. The Severn is England's longest river, and its estuary is a haven for wild fowl and wading birds. To the south of the county, you'll find the Cotswolds, the gently sloping hills where arable and sheep farming thrive, and a region famed for its oolitic limestone, featured in many of its buildings. To the southwest of the Cotswolds is the town of Stroud, a location noted for its steep streets and one of the birthplaces of the organic food movement. 5 valleys converge here, and the plateaus between them offer the most magnificent of views.
The price of an average detached house in Gloucestershire is £291,000, which is 15% above the national figure. But really, the average figure is just imaginary, because on the ground, prices are very varied. Over in the east, where the rich and famous live in the Cotswolds, they're in a nice house on the edge of a village with an acre of land that's going to be at least £1.25 million. Whereas over in the west towards Wales, the same sort of property, well, you can knock a third off the price. So a great variety of prices, but a very high calibre of architecture throughout.
Many of the most attractive buildings in the county were built in the 18th and 19th century, when the wool industry was at its peak. Since the mid-1800s, sandstone has been extracted from quarries in the heart of the Forest of Dean, and prices for a 3-bedroom character stone cottage in the Blakeney area typically start at around the £300,000 mark. In the south, the distinctive Cotswold stone is a popular choice, with honey-coloured cottages in the area around Painswick costing upward of £200,000 for a 2-bedroom terrace to around £600,000 for a 4-bedroom detached property.
Beautiful Gloucestershire bricks and mortar, but is any of it up to scratch for our house buyers today? And it's a slightly unusual show because we don't have one set of house buyers, but 2. Let's meet them.
Retired tutors Edwin and Jane have spent their 20 years together in the same 4-storey Victorian house in Oxford, but they're now looking to find a property nearer to Jane's family in Gloucestershire.
We've always had sort of at the back of our minds that at some point we'd move out into the country.
I find now I'm at the stage of life when I want more space around me, strangely enough. I want a really big garden. Much as I love my neighbours, I don't want to be as on top of them as one is in the city.
However, there's one neighbour they're particularly fond of, retired teacher Caroline, who was widowed 6 years ago and lives with daughter Alice. She also wants to move to Gloucestershire to begin the next chapter of her life.
My daughter Alice is 18. She'll be going off to university in the autumn, God willing. And I don't want to be on my own in this house when she goes. It's also very big, and I need to realise some of the equity in it.
So, in an escape to the country first, all three buyers are proposing to head to the country together.
Just as a sort of pipe dream, we started thinking about, well, maybe we could find a house that's big enough to divide into two.
And of course, doing it that way, we might be able to get a bit of a bigger property with a bit more land, which would equally both
So
love.
I'd get the stately home I want
So Jane
badly.
gets close to her stately home after all, which would be wonderful.
Their 16-year friendship has flourished through their mutual interests.
Jane and Edwin have been friends pretty much since we moved into the street. We got to know them fairly early on. Edwin comes and builds fences for us sometimes and that kind of thing. When they go on their boat, I often go out for a day with them. We have a lot of interests in common.
And the bond between them even extends to their love of gardening.
Caroline and I share 2 allotments, in fact, at a plot just very nearby the house.
Jane and I would like to have a sort of joint vegetable plot at the bottom of the garden so that we can do that together, because we've been enjoying working our allotments together. It's been lovely.
They both love the character of their current houses and are keen to maintain a similar tradition in their new rural retreat.
I have always lived in my adult life in Victorian houses, and I do like character features.
Basically, we want Victorian, just a little bit later Edwardian, or Georgian. Georgian is an absolute favourite.
And with that all agreed, there just remains the issue of how much they have to spend between them.
I've got about £400,000 for this move. That would need to include any work that needed to be done.
Our budget for this move, for Jane and myself, is £400,000, which means that collectively with Caroline we should have about £800,000 available.
With a total of £800,000, our three buyers are looking to move to the villages around Stroud, close to Jane's family and also Caroline's friends. I caught up with our unique trio in a beautiful Gloucestershire setting to discuss exactly what they want from this very special house hunt.
Welcome to Gloucestershire, you three.
Thank you.
I think this is certainly the first time I've had 3 contributors on the show. So it's very nice to welcome you. And I suppose I wanted to just clarify what you're looking for, because it's 2 sets of desires, really. Right. Caroline, tell me first, what is it that you're really dreaming about in terms of a property?
Well, it's got to have a minimum of 2 bedrooms, because there's me and my daughter.
Alice.
Yeah, Alice. And space, and, you know, a certain amount of privacy. Not from Jane and Edwin, but from others.
And what about you guys?
Well, we'd want a spare bedroom, but then we actually always want a study each, so that sort of makes a minimum 3 bedrooms, 2 of which can be studies. Right. And we're looking for nice big rooms, because although our home is lovely, the rooms aren't actually that big.
But on the other hand, you quite like cosy little rooms.
Yeah.
Oh, it's bringing me out in sweats. So clearly the pool of properties that we're looking at is quite niche. Mm. They say that friends and finance never mix. I'm slightly anxious on your behalf about how you're going to divvy up the budget. What is your budget?
A total of 800,000, roughly split half and half. But then obviously if Caroline ends up with, she doesn't actually want quite as many rooms as we do, then we'd start dividing the budget in proportion. With a hovel in the bottom of the garden. Yes, I mean
So you get the shed and they get the stately home.
This was our main idea, but we haven't told Caroline yet. But the other thing is that we'd be interested in properties which are a bit less than 800,000 with money to do development or, you know.
OK, so you're quite keen on doing a project. This is what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear adventurous, wide-seeing, far-thinking house buyers. Well, we've got 3 lovely houses, and I'm very intrigued to see how you navigate them and decide which bit's which. You seem very peaceful now, but I'm sort of hoping for fights.
OK. Yes, this is
It's my room. Let's go and see them.
OK.
Our buyers have £800,000 to spend and are seeking a property with character and period features, the potential to be split into separate dwellings, at least 4 bedrooms between them, and a large garden to grow vegetables. We've come up with 3 properties which have real potential for this intriguing move. As usual, I'll be asking them to guess the price before I reveal it to them. As ever, our final offering is the mystery house, which could bring our neighbours even closer together than they imagined. Time to hit the road.
Now, sharing a property that is quite a challenge. I mean, you're obviously not sharing, the property entirely, but have you thought about the kind of psychology of sharing? I mean, you share an allotment, but...
I think we're used to sharing, aren't we?
Yeah, I think we'll be fine.
We'll have our own spaces. We're not going to share a kitchen, which wouldn't do.
And when I have any plumbing or electrical issues going wrong, I can ask Edwin to pop next door and sort it out for me.
All right.
We've made the journey 5 miles south of Stroud to the popular Cotswolds market town of Nailsworth. Lying in a wooded valley, it has a wide and eclectic range of shops in the busy high street and a 19th century church built in the early English style. For our first property, or rather properties, we found 2 detached Cotswold stone cottages. One dating back to the 17th century with an adjoining new build annex, currently used as a holiday let.
Beautiful views down the valley to Stroud.
Oh, yes,
It's lovely.
Wonderful.
But this is the house I want to show you, or in fact, the houses. But the interesting thing is that they are legally distinct. They've got, they've been through the whole planning process, and this is let as a holiday cottage and could be sold separately.
Oh, I see.
Oh, excellent.
We're going to start with what could be Jane and Edwin's house, the beautifully restored 17th century property, which was once a local pub.
Come on in.
Oh, lovely.
So straight into the main living space, as often happens in these cottages.
Very pretty.
Beautifully done, isn't it?
So you can see the stairs come straight down. They probably would have been separated into 2 buildings in the 18th century building. But the hearth, this great big kind of hearth, would have always been there.
I like it, yes. It's nice and cosy, and yet this is a nice big room.
So Caroline, I mean, I was thinking that you're a bit worried about that this would be nicer than your bit.
I don't mind if it's nicer than my bit, obviously, because they deserve a nice house.
Yes, this is true.
Well, should we continue the tour? Let's have a look at the kitchen.
I know Jane and Edwin are hoping for a sociable kitchen, and this one, with its mix of modern and original features, should suit them nicely.
The heart of the home, but is it heart enough?
I find it a tiny bit small.
Small.
Yes, then Jane, there's another room off there.
That was the kitchen.
Right.
That's now the dining room.
Ah, yes. In fact, you can fit a table in.
Well, but you don't need to, because you just got
No,
a table
just
just there.
No, I mean, but if it's just, as it mostly would be, just us two, that sort of table would be...
Yes,
Yeah,
okay. I feel the small windows do make it dark. I'd like an expanse if I'm washing up or whatever.
I'm going to give you two a chance to go upstairs
Right.
and look there. And meanwhile, I'm going to whisk Caroline over to her part. You two head upstairs. Caroline, come with me.
Right.
So, having seen the kitchen, it seems Jane will need a bit more convincing about this property. Also downstairs in Jane and Edwin's cottage is a good-sized utility room, along with a modern bathroom. And adjoining the sitting room is a very light study, which they could fight over or take turns to use. Meanwhile, upstairs there are 4 bedrooms in all, 2 double guest rooms, which look very inviting for friends and family, a single which could be turned to use as a separate study, and a further double with ensuite bathroom, which is the obvious choice for a master. But now I'm heading across the driveway to the annex, which I think might need substantial alteration before it meets Caroline's demands.
So you come through the corridor into this room.
Oh, which is a decent size. I like this. Oh, they've done this very nicely, actually. I thought it was going to be darker than this because of not having windows on this side. Actually, it's plenty light enough.
And then you've got the kitchen straight off here. Do you want to just poke
yes.
your head in and see if it's large enough?
No, it's quite small, but there's everything there that you'd need. This would be big enough for me. It's not quite my taste, but that's fine.
Well, I think with this whole, I mean, you could think about it in terms of a shell and moving a lot of the walls and sort of configuring it as you like, because you've only got one bedroom as it stands.
Yes.
Let's go outside again because I can show you better what I was
Right.
thinking.
The only other room in this compact bungalow is a bright modern bathroom. As we head outside, you can see that there's certainly potential here, but it will need a major renovation, and Caroline has some excellent ideas.
I would, if I was going to live in this house, I'd want to be able to access my garden from my house.
Right.
So I think actually I would be making that double garage into a sitting room and changing the configuration completely, bedrooms down this end maybe.
Oh, I see.
Just depends how much there is in the budget, really.
My cue to get the others out of... Are you all done in there?
We are.
These two properties share around 3/4 of an acre of land, with an expanse of lawn and great views of the surrounding countryside. So there's plenty of space for them to grow all the veg they want.
So, the garden. You notice this rather interesting
Yes.
feature. This is a boule piste.
No.
Where you play ball?
Yeah. Apparently, it's every Friday there are boule parties here.
Oh,
Oh, shame. So we're going to be terribly unpopular turning it into a vegetable patch.
Ah, yes, actually, a much better idea, isn't it? So let's talk money. How much do you think this whole property, because it's sold as a single property, is on the market for?
I shall guess 750,000.
Okay.
Yes, I have a feeling present market it might be as low as 650 actually.
Okay, 650. Caroline.
I have no idea. Say 700.
Split the difference.
That's all right.
It's on the market for 599,950.
Right.
Yeah, is it?
Gosh, that seems cheap, doesn't it?
So that would leave money for doing
It
major
would.
extensions
It would.
and knocking down and starting again, really.
It would.
So why don't you all head down and you can do a little tour of your new abode, and I'll see you later.
Right.
Right.
Priced well under their combined budget at just under £600,000, this versatile pair of cottages has the potential to meet all of their joint needs. It has a wealth of attractive period features, a large sociable kitchen in the first property, a total of 5 bedrooms in all, 4 in one cottage and 1 in the other, and 3/4 of an acre of land outside, so plenty of space to grow that veg.
Well, when we first came to this house, it would appear to be just what we wanted as a property because it had a house for us and a house for Caroline. When we went in, I'm afraid I found it a little bit over-restored inside.
Unfortunately, when we got to go round the house, I realised that actually we wouldn't like it unless we did quite a lot of work. Having said that, at the £600,000, we'd have roughly £100,000 to play with, and we'd have to think about what we could or couldn't do.
The house that would be my bit is too small and very characterless. On the other hand, of course, that means you could do lots to it. But the land is definitely a plus point.
Strange, I thought Caroline would have issues with her side of the house and that Edwin and Jane would love this. But actually, they're not so keen on all the stones, of all things. There they are. Your ears must have been burning. I was talking about your...
Right.
Good. Well, we're all done here. Ready for house number 2?
Right.
Exciting.
Good.
Let's go.
Lying just south of Gloucester, the historic wool town of Painswick is one of the hidden gems of the area. Known locally as the Queen of the Cotswolds, its charming narrow streets are home to over 340 listed buildings. On the outskirts of the town lies Painswick House, whose 18th century Rococo gardens are a magnificent example of Georgian creativity, at a time when all things frivolous and flamboyant were very much in mode. With Edwin, Jane and Caroline all being keen vegetable growers, we arranged for them to meet garden director Paul Moyer to find out more about the food crops grown in Painswick's kitchen garden.
It's really unusual because it's a big kitchen garden. Right. It's slap bang in the middle of the garden, so it's a main feature. And you'd think, why on earth did they put it there? But I mean, it makes a lot of sense actually because it's a south-facing slope, so it gets the sunshine. And also, there's a lot of springs through there, so we have a permanent supply of water, which is very useful.
And they are very pretty.
They are. I mean, it was laid out in a very geometric fashion to make it interesting as well.
The kitchen garden's planting is as accurate as the history books will allow, and there are modern varieties being cultivated right alongside traditional ones. Currently growing here are broad beans, peas and onions, as well as fruits such as rhubarb, black currants and gooseberries. Much of the produce is used in the Painswick House restaurant, as well as supplying neighbouring businesses.
We get lots of apples, lots of pears. The apples go to a local apple juice producer. The pears go to a local jam producer as well. So anything that we can't use, we try and find a local company that we can actually, send the stuff around to.
So a working garden.
Very much a working garden.
And talking of working, Paul has something up his sleeve that our 3 green-fingered buyers can lend a hand with. It's a decorative willow structure which is being created by volunteers to celebrate the Queen's Diamond Jubilee.
We've still got quite a bit of work to do to fill in some of the gaps on it, so hopefully you'll be able to give us a hand doing that.
Oh, lovely.
If you look at the willow here that we're using, you can already see it's rooting.
Yes.
So what we want to do is to weave it down and then stick the end in the ground about that far, and then weave the top in. But the best thing to do to start is just to roll it around your knee, because it breaks the fibres down and makes it easier to weave, like that.
The idea of using willow for weaving this commemorative piece is based on sustainability, because as it grows, the structure will increase in scale, providing an iconic highlight within the gardens.
Because the whole inspiration behind it from the lady who designed it was to look like the crown jewels, or the orb that the Queen has, that decorative orb.
Well, now it's time for us to head back to our property search to see if we can find a crowning jewel to suit all 3 of our buyers. For our second property, we're travelling around 20 miles northwest of Stroud to the small town of Micheldean. This community has all the necessary amenities for our buyers, such as a convenient supermarket, a post office and a friendly local pub. Just outside Micheldean, in the village of Flaxley, is our second offering, a former farmhouse with stunning lakeside views. But importantly for Caroline, there's also a good-sized annex, which is currently being used as a holiday let.
So here's your water feature.
This is amazing.
But if we just spin on our tracks, we can see a little bit what we're dealing with.
Oh,
Yes.
isn't this
Very, very pretty.
Beautiful house.
I'm always thinking about you because clearly that is a much more impressive property than that. So there are 2 options here. One, this is your house, that's their house. But then I think between you might also find some ways of splitting this house.
Right.
So just for change, I thought we'd start on this side
Right.
Fair enough.
and that side. So let's have a look up the top here.
While the apartment up on the first floor of the annex might look rather unprepossessing from the outside, the interior has been beautifully finished.
Come on in.
Gosh, nice space.
It is.
Little kitchen.
Wonderful.
It's very light. It's got lots of light coming in all the way through these lovely dormer windows. And it goes through into a very big kind of bedroom on that side with a second bedroom on the other side. So you've already got your 2 bedrooms and a sort of living space. But it's a bit modest.
Yes. But then there's all that space downstairs.
Downstairs you have 2 double garages effectively and then 2 wood stores.
Yes.
But it's work.
Yeah, well, we anticipated that we work one way or another.
Yeah.
Because if you buy something and split it, you're going to have to do work, aren't you?
Absolutely. Yes. Or go into plan 2 of my cunning plan and think about separating up this house.
Well, we'll have to see what's there, won't we?
Shall we go peek?
Yeah.
Caroline obviously appreciates the work that's gone into this annex. It's perhaps not got the period character she was after, but the farmhouse is a different story. The question is, can Caroline stand by and let her friends take it all? Or will she want her share of the spoils?
Come into this gracious slice of country living.
This is amazing, isn't it?
Look at that.
Now, are you mega jealous?
I am. But I'm going to build a similar one over the other side.
That's the fighting talk I like, yes.
And there's room for it, so why not?
Matching garden rooms.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
This is the kitchen. Now, an old-fashioned kitchen, good old-fashioned range cooker,
Yeah.
Yes.
but it's not huge.
It is a small kitchen, isn't it?
But
Yes, but you
You've got
use
all
it
that
in
space
conjunction with the dining table just right here.
Yes.
It's just
true.
Jane might not be completely won over by the kitchen, but the features in this reception room should be just to her characterful taste.
And then this is the sitting room.
real floorboards?
Got a lovely feel to it.
Isn't it quite?
Genuinely old.
Yes.
Genuine house.
There's a log burner and a nice big
Right.
Look
hearth.
at the size of the fireplace.
Genuine features.
Also on the ground floor of this spacious property is a large utility room adjoining the garden room. And just off the hallway is a cosy family room with fantastic oak flooring and a feature fireplace. And upstairs is just brimming with character too. There are exposed timbers everywhere, even in the family bathroom. The 3 bedrooms on this floor are all bright and generously sized, and 2 of them have their own en-suites, so there's plenty of room for friends and family. And up on the next level in the eaves, along with 2 small attic rooms, which might work well as studies, there's also a huge master suite, which contains a freestanding bath at one end. But we'll continue our tour outside, where there are views of the lake, a seated patio area, extensive lawns, and ample space for that all-important vegetable plot.
I can so see the 3 of you living here. It's so beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
It is absolutely beautiful.
Well, we haven't completed the whole task, because you remember there was Plan A and Plan B. Plan A was you're over there, you're over there.
Yeah.
Plan B is, can you separate that beautiful house so that you both live in it? Because you can see that there's actually 2 gables. So it's not impossible. You need to know how much it costs.
This is true.
So tell me your thoughts.
Oh, I think it's so lovely that it's going to be right at the top end of our budget and we're not going to have anything left over for splitting with, and I think it's about 800,000.
Well, Caroline took the words out of my mouth, I'm afraid. I was going to say exactly the same.
Can say the same, that's all right.
I think it's a bit further away from things. I don't think so. I
That's
think it'll
true.
be 710, perhaps.
710. Well, I'm afraid your optimism was misplaced. And the ladies have it. It is on at just a shade under 800,000.
Right.
Well, if
No.
I was living in that bit, I
That's
wouldn't be paying 400 for
No,
that
no,
and
of
you
course
getting
not.
that for 400, because that wouldn't be
That
fair.
would be a bit unfair. Yes. But these are the sort of conversations I
Yes.
want you to have as you walk round the house.
Indeed.
And no fighting.
Okay.
We'll try not
Okay.
to.
Right.
So near the very top end of their budget at £795,000, this farmhouse with outbuildings has huge potential for all 3 buyers. There's a raft of original features, a very large garden room, 6 bedrooms, beautiful mature land, and of course a 2-bedroom annex apartment, which could be further extended with the correct planning permissions.
When we first came here, I thought, oh yes, I could live in that little stable block if it was all adapted and so on and so forth. And actually, I think I would just be green with envy, Jane and Edwin living in this house.
Is that it's just rather a long way away from where we'd hoped to be in terms of distance to Jane's sister Katie. How about that something we'd think about, because it's certainly a very attractive property.
I think it's gorgeous. I think it's an awful shame to make Caroline have the garage and the outbuildings. And I think it's possible we could divide it down the middle successfully with a bit of thought, although I would be very wary of harming a historic house like this in any way.
Ah, your head's full of ideas.
They are.
Plans.
Well, and we could do with some actual floor plans as well, I think.
Well, I might supply you with those, but let's go and gather our thoughts.
Right.
Our work is done today.
As dusk falls over the beautiful Gloucestershire countryside, it marks the end of a very unusual day's property search. In an escape to the country first, we're helping 3 buyers move to the wilds of Gloucestershire from the city of Oxford. Retirees Jane and Edwin and their neighbour Caroline, who's also retired, want to make a new life in this lovely county. So far there's been a mixed reaction to 2 stone homes, and they've fallen for a beautiful lakeside property but weren't quite so keen on the annex. But coming up, the scale of the mystery house leaves them stunned.
Oh, good heavens.
Oh, good heavens, it's enormous.
Goodness, it's so big, isn't it?
And I visit Gloucester Cathedral to take a look at a brand new gargoyle.
Day 2, and we're back in West Gloucestershire, or almost Wales, as Jane and Edward keep on calling it. But I am confident that the mystery house is going to make particularly Caroline happy. Because up until now, poor Caroline has always rather been shown, here's the cowshed, that's yours, and this lovely house is Jane and Edwin's. But not so with the rather magnificent mystery house.
For our mystery property, we've travelled to Newnham-on-Severn, a village around 15 miles northwest of Stroud. Close to the Forest of Dean, the core of this beautiful village is a designated conservation area. It also has a variety of interesting shops and the necessary amenities such as a post office. Just outside Newnham is the tidal inlet known as Bullow Pill, and this is where we find our mystery house. Grade 2 listed and built in the Flemish style in around 1840, this historic pile has real potential to allow them all to live under the same roof as they can divide it between them.
This is a great mystery house, if I say so myself.
Oh my goodness, yes. Extraordinary.
Extraordinary house.
An extraordinary house.
Turrets.
Amazing architecture.
Amazing architecture. It was built as the harbour master's house.
Oh, absolutely wonderful.
Now, it's near the road. It is on an A road. And actually, once you're in the house, you don't notice it at all. Let's look inside.
So far, we've seen 2 properties with separate annexes. But due to its symmetrical layout and the fact that it has 2 staircases, we think this stunning house has great potential for dividing in 2.
Come on in. Straight into the lovely kitchen.
It is lovely. Lovely,
It does.
It looks so imperial, all of it, doesn't it?
It does, and splendid windows anyway.
Now, again, we need your imagination as we go around the house, because it literally is, this floor is 4 big rooms. And you have 2 staircases. You have the big staircase that comes from the front door, which of course no one uses, and then the servants, which is up this wall, so the back staircase that goes up sort of the opposite direction.
Right.
So you could very easily use the back door as one door and the front door as another door and split it. And you can sort of decide whether you split it this way or that way.
On this side of the house, which we could call Jane and Edwin's, there's a spacious reception room with fantastic original features.
Lovely windows.
Again, they're lovely windows. These are the more featured windows on this side.
But this would make a lovely cosy sitting room.
That's presumably a working fireplace.
Yes, flues are all open.
Excellent.
Yes. And again, as all these floors are actually new, they're oak floors, but it's been beautifully done, I think.
It has indeed.
It's new,
No, it's all totally in character.
On the other side of the house, where Caroline could live, are 2 equally large and attractive reception rooms. These have, like the rest of the house, rather grand windows and beautiful feature fireplaces. There's also a downstairs shower room on this side too. To help our buyers get their head around splitting the property, I'm going to show them the layout of the staircases. These are in the centre of the house and divide both sets of rooms.
So this is the big flight of stairs, and that goes up onto the first, and then there's a sort of matching, sort of symmetrical flight of stairs on the other side, which is the servant stairs. So you could stop the house there and have this side as one and then the other side as another.
Yes, that's right.
Shall we look upstairs?
Yes.
Upstairs, off a lovely big landing, on Jane and Edwin's side, there are 2 fantastic double bedrooms with feature windows giving them loads of light and character. While on Caroline's side, there's a wonderfully spacious family-sized bathroom with a fireplace and freestanding bath. Adjacent to that is this huge bedroom with a quirky corner washroom, which is where we're stopping off next.
Oh, good heavens, it's enormous.
Goodness, it's so big, isn't it?
Look at that.
So much
That's
light.
lovely. Does that window actually belong to the other half if you were dividing that way?
Well, this is where you start to kind of
Yes.
have to do
think, yes.
Because I was just thinking what you're all
arm wrestling.
Yes.
Who gets this
actually
bedroom?
divide this room.
I'm going to send you upstairs to look at that attic space and see what you might do there division-wise.
Right.
And then when you've had a look there, come downstairs, meet me in the garden. We can talk about land and price.
Okay.
Right.
On the next floor, there's a huge amount of charm in the attic bedrooms on both sides, with space for double or twin beds among the supporting timbers. And there's also a half-timbered bathroom and a kitchenette area off the larger 3rd bedroom, which is at the front of the house. But now it's time for Jane, Edwin and Caroline to come and join me and take a look at the grounds.
So it's quite a big property. It's about an acre, a lot of house, a lot of outhouse. How much do you think it costs?
It's going to be right on the limit at 800,000.
I think it's going to be nearer 900,000.
I'm going for 750,000, why not?
750. Well, you might be surprised to know that this house is on the market for not 900, not 800, not 750, but 645.
You are joking.
Change to spend on
Good
it.
price, actually, yes.
That shot a little excitement into the three of you.
It did.
It?
I would like you to explore the land, because there is quite a lot of interesting land,
Right.
particularly down in the ravine,
Well-
and I will see you at the front.
Right.
This very imposing harbour master's house is well under their budget at £645,000 and offers both parties the chance to live in it once divided up. It has beautiful original features, lovely light living space, 6 bedrooms and around an acre of grounds.
The Mystery House was certainly a wonderful surprise to suddenly see this pretty extraordinary and unusual large house with so many windows. And of course, the price is absolutely wonderful. It's far less than I would have dreamt a house of this size might come at.
This is a lovely house and huge and so much for your money. The garden is nice, although I think it might be a bit difficult to divide that.
It is at the very edge of the area we wanted to live in, and it is probably a good half hour from where we really felt we wanted to be. But it's a beautiful area, lovely Severn Estuary, and a fabulous house.
It's a lot of house and a great price, but I wonder if any of it will outweigh the fact that it's by a main road. And that... Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Well,
All done?
Yes.
OK, so now's the time when we regroup
right.
and gather our thoughts.
OK.
Gloucester Cathedral has proudly occupied the north of the city since its foundations were laid 940 years ago. However, it's now nearing the end of a 5-year gargoyle restoration project on its south wall, the first significant repair work to be carried out since the building was completed in the 1320s. 10 of the 13 new gargoyles have been finished and are already in place. But I've come to meet the cathedral's master mason, Pascal Michaelissin, to find out about the remarkable history of this project.
Well, what happened that the original gargoyles of the south aisles were all damaged, either worn out and also damaged during the Civil War, so a long time ago, because they were
The Roundheads.
probably victims of the shooting target practice of the
They used
Roundheads.
to shoot at them.
Yeah, we think so, because there's a lot of musket balls impact on the facade. All the sculpture and gargoyles which has survived are headless. So we think that they shoot at the head.
In my head, a gargoyle is the kind of scary face,
Yeah.
but that's a grotesque.
They have a function. The grotesque haven't got a function. For example, that's a grotesque, that little man.
See, that's
there.
what I thought was a gargoyle, but that's a grotesque.
That's a grotesque. It's just to have fun. Gargoyles have a function. Medieval Mason, they wanted to get rid of the water out of their building, and instead of doing a boring long stone, they decided to have fun.
Each gargoyle takes around 6 months to make. Once Pascal has designed it, the first stage is a model known as a maquette. A wooden frame wrapped in metallic mesh and then covered with clay. Senior mason Oliver Critchley was on hand to show me the next part of the process.
So, Ollie, this is you at the next stage. You've made the, what is it called, the maquette.
Maquette.
Yeah.
How long do you take from scratch?
We aim to get them done in 2 weeks. From this, then we'll carve the stone.
Once finished, the dimensions of the maquette are measured and recorded by a pointing machine, a device which dates back to Renaissance Italy. Using those exact dimensions, the gargoyle is then carved from French Jurassic limestone as a scale copy of the maquette. Tricky work. Luckily, I'm going to try my hand at something much simpler.
Can I have a go just so that I can say I've had a hand in creating this gargoyle?
Of course.
What should I...
If you work around just smoothing off the knuckles.
The minimum
I tend
damage.
to use my own hand as a model.
He's angry, Pascal. Why is he so angry?
It is the anger destroying the world, riding the bull of destruction.
Bad.
He is, yeah. Hopefully he will not be successful.
Because he's surrounded by so many lovely things.
Yeah, yeah.
Very nice to meet you.
You too, Alistair.
When it's completed, this gargoyle will be hoisted 35 feet in the air to take up its function on the cathedral, discharging water from the roof, thereby protecting the stonework from erosion. It will hopefully keep its head for at least the next 700 years.
And with that stonemasonry skill in my fingertips, time to find out how our trio of property buyers are doing. Now, you three, you have given us a challenge. Let's go through the houses one by one. Now, the first house clearly was a slight imbalance of sizes. On paper, it looked quite a good offering.
I did.
Absolutely
Yes.
agree, yes.
I don't think I have sufficient imagination to see what I could do with that part to make it into something that I would really want.
And the second house, there was a very beautiful house that you two liked a lot.
That house obviously could actually be split into two.
Yeah, and I loved that house.
Yes, I think
Caroline
we all
loved
loved that house,
Yes,
didn't
that was
we?
it.
I would have had reservations actually altering that house too much because it was obviously so historic, even though it wasn't listed. I feel you couldn't really have divided it into two without spoiling it.
I mean, the main thing that bothered you was the distance.
Was the
really.
distance
Yes, certainly the
from our
location.
preferred area, yes.
So the mystery house was also in West Gloucestershire.
Well, absolutely.
Stunning house.
Stunning house, intriguing. I mean, unfortunately, outside the road noise by itself would have eliminated the house as a choice. But
I think, although I said I wasn't as comfortable with the style of the rooms and everything as you were, I mean, I thought they were lovely. And I'm sure I could have brought myself to manage in a gorgeous Victorian house. But no, I mean, the road was just no.
So overall, we didn't get you your dream home, but do you think you are being unrealistic in what you're looking for?
It probably has revealed that what we need to target is somewhere with an existing house which would suit Jane and myself, but an area of outbuildings which could be replaced by a house to suit Caroline, which would be very nice.
Planning permission or something
Planning
like
permission
that.
and so on.
Well, I hope you find it, and I'd be very interested to see how you three rub along in your interesting property.
We'll invite you for tea on the terrace.
We
Jane's
will,
stately
we
home.
will.
And we'll certainly let you know.
Do keep us in touch. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What can I say? It was always going to be a challenge, but I have to say, having spent the week with that lovely trio, I do wonder whether they'll ever find a property that matches their desires, because basically Jane and Edwin want a stately home and Caroline wants a cosy cottage. Nonetheless, I think we did do ourselves proud, and we showed you lovely properties here in a very beautiful part of Britain. So do join us again next time for more Escape to the Country.
If you'd like to escape to the country in Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland or England and you need our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.